So, that was probably the lowest point of Cybage. It was like, it's like, you wish for the ground to split open because that's as insulting as it can get. The point is, all this when it was happening, Rahul, by the way, told me, why don't you explore a different direction for the organization? So what was happening with the growing maturity of internet, the sparks of offshore development had started glimmering. So Infosys Wipros are always there, but in a real sense they hadn't taken off because the internet came afterwards. So Rahul encouraged me to explore the direction of flickering light. Now I was very reluctant at first. How can you recover your lifelong savings, whatever 5-7 years of savings, by small staff augmentation contracts? But it was either that or vast nothingness. So I started sending emails to different companies in USA soliciting business for offshore services, using our product as a branding tool. And very few responses came. So then I'll fly, I'll figure out how to spend money and meet them. Nothing was happening. Then I got a one-liner mail from a company called Netopia, and again in San Francisco, but that was a hub in those days, that next time you're in Bay Area, come and visit us. So I was like, oh my God, not another airfare again. But I had no choice. So I flew to Bay Area. And absent-mindedly, I forgot to pack my tie. So I reached San Francisco. From the airport, I went to the nearest Walmart, and there was the cheapest promotional Coca-Cola tie I could find, maroon color. I should have worn it today, but I kept it with me. So it was with a teddy bear and footballs and all. It was a maroon thick tie. And next day I go to this company, Fairlawn. Now they are part of Motorola. A very big, majestic structure. Not as big as current point like Cybage, but from point of time relativity, massive. I enter and the receptionist tells me, cool tie, So the sarcasm didn't escape me, and the nervousness doubled. And then I ushered into the big boardroom, and the president of the company, and then 2 of his senior VPs, and nervously I made the entire presentation. They said, your timing is very good. You have a good product, that means you can do offshore. And you can do our product, it's a good idea, but we'll come back to you. I come back to Chicago, I spend 2 days near the phone, waiting for the call to happen. It finally comes, and then this guy, this Steve Solomon, one of the 2 guys I met, he said, Arun, we like your company, okay, but you need to visit our development center in Kansas. I said, oh no, not another airfare, how will I do that? So, they had arranged everything. They paid for my air ticket, they paid for my car rental, everything. They're taking it. I mean, have you heard a customer giving you business and paying for your airfare to come and visit them? So I flew, spent the entire day with them, came back, again sitting next to the phone, and he finally rang, and again Steve called up. He said, Arun, we like it, you're 4 engineers, and I'd like to do business with you. So he said, how much will you charge per engineer per month? I said, 1,500. He said, 1,200. I said, 1,400. So he said, let me think this whole thing, and anyways we had to make a final decision, and I'll get back to you. And I was like, please don't do this to me. I was very silently, and don't let this happen. And I think somewhere he heard me, and this is how Cybage took its first breath. That is the story. And incidentally, 2 years down the road, then he was only 41 years old, and I got a call that he died of a heart attack. So sometimes, I am a very mathematical guy. So for me, everything is probabilities and like odds and all. So that question always comes to you, that was it just a mathematical probability that worked out? It just happened that he had to be there. But how will we ever know? Right? And is it a divine intervention or what was it? Because the living evidence only done hostile, who to ask also, I have no idea. But it worked. This is how we came into business. And then it continued from there.
Yeah, I guess so. What is important really is not giving up hope, right? Your back may be against the wall, as you know, you're saying that you were staring into vast nothingness, right? But you didn't give up hope. You looked at what else you could do, and then you know the universe works in a way. You know, probabilities, as you mentioned, certain things come together. You don't expect that something like this will happen, and you meet a person like this, and you get started on another journey.
Yeah.
So you know, let's sort of talk about another topic, entrepreneurship, right? So this is something I know is close to your heart. So entrepreneurship means different things to different people, right? It's a path to wealth. It's a path to name and fame. Making a difference to the economy, to the society. Everyone has different expectations when we all get started with entrepreneurship. And as you had some examples you gave earlier, it is also, and as you get started on the path, you learn that it's a lesson in humility. Your experience with how you were treated at some of the prospects. So, what does entrepreneurship mean to you? You know, when you got started, what was it that you had not expected, and what wasn't it that you had expected?
Wow, a very deep question. Okay, now, boy. Okay, so when you asked the first question about childhood and all, so in my college days, I always used to tell everybody, I'll do something. I don't want to live a normal life. I want to do something in business only. I mean, what I'll do, I'll try to figure out, but I'll do something. So perhaps that ingredient you need somewhere. That I always believe that people mistake that as having aspirations in life and being content in life are two opposite sides. So either you are content or you aspire. Like, if you are ambitious, then you cannot be content. Right? So this is an issue, and that confusion is what sometimes discourages people from, being ambitious or driven by some kind of financial greed or social greed. And over the years, I realized, at least for me, I realized that applies to a person. Let's say if you are a person of, unfortunately, there's a low IQ, okay, and maybe somebody in rural India and a housewife who's not very sharp or not educated or something, she's content with her life, no aspiration, happy. It works. But for a reasonably intelligent person, it doesn't work like that. You can never be content if you don't have aspirations. You have to find contentment in aspirations. Unless you dream, the satisfaction only doesn't come. So sitting and doing nothing, if you are reasonably intelligent, it won't come. It's very theoretical then. So that, at least I felt in my case, I feel very restless if I don't aspire. If I say, okay, Cybage has reached wherever it is, now let it be. It doesn't have to be money. It cannot be necessarily business or fame or something, but it has to be something to look forward to, that, okay, 1 year from now, 2 years from now. Some dreams you need to have. So that, I don't know whether I'm going in circles to answer the question, but what is the question?
So the question was what entrepreneurship means to you, and two sub-questions. Right?
Okay.
What was it?
So entrepreneurship for me, okay, so it gives me intellectual stimulation. Okay, now, today is not entrepreneurship. I mean, it's a 20-year-old story. Entrepreneurship for anybody who's starting new, fresh, unless you come from financially blessed setting, okay, then it's a different thing. But if you are a person who is aspiring and trying to build, without doubt, financial thing will be in the back of your mind. You might tell all kind of stories that I'm doing for social reasons, but you'll be kidding yourself. Financial aspiration is an integral part of being an entrepreneur. There is a social entrepreneurship, but there's not a business entrepreneurship. And over here, the front row is full of such people. You are doing too, in many ways. You have been an entrepreneur, now you're a social entrepreneur. But that's a different kind of entrepreneurship. But in the business entrepreneurship, if you say money is not an objective, you are actually going the wrong direction.
So, Arun, just to interrupt you there, actually you mentioned me, but I'm doing it for the love of it. Yeah. It just so happens that I love money.
So, Yeah. No, I mean, that's, yeah.